There is a scene in Dead or Alive 4 which unfortunately is not in Dead or Alive Dimensions. The reason I find its exclusion so unfortunate is because in hindsight it's probably one of my most favorite scenes of that game. I'm just going to show it and then I'll talk about it.
Yo, 見事。ほらよ。
Now, on its own, it's just a cool scene of Ryu Hayabusa and Yan Li showing off their nunchuck skills. Thing is though, anyone who has played the Xbox Ninja Gaiden or any of its remakes or watched my Ninja Gaiden Wednesdays would find Ryu's turn with the nunchucks a bit familiar. This is Murai, Ryu Hayabusa's uncle. He's also the one who betrayed Ryu at the end.
Mirai.
The Dark Dragon is mine.
See, as part of Ryu's origin story, yes, Xbox Ninja Gaiden takes place before the NES Ninja Gaiden, so the NES Ninja Gaiden is no longer his origin story. Keep up. Ryu's village gets attacked by a greater fiend named Doku. Doku works for the Vigor Emperor, who wants the Dark Dragon Blade. And honestly, you don't need to know the full context of it. Point is that the villains wanted a powerful sword called the Dark Dragon Blade, which was guarded by the Hayabusa village. One of the people who died as a result of the attack is the Dragon Shrine Maiden, Kureha. Kureha is also Ryu Hayabusa's childhood friend. So at first glance, Ninja Gaiden is a story of revenge. Revenge for the death of his childhood friend, revenge for his village, revenge against Doku. Thing is though, this was all part of Murai's plan. See, the Dark Dragon Blade gets more powerful the more killings happen. So it's in his best interest to encourage Ryu to kill a lot of people on his way to retrieve the Dark Dragon Blade out of the hands of Doku. So when Murai gets his hands on the Dark Dragon Blade, it's supposedly as powerful as it can be. What he didn't count on was the fact that Kureha was holding on to the Eye of the Dragon. With it, Ryu can unlock the true power of his Dragon Sword. The true Dragon Sword was capable of destroying the Dark Dragon Blade, which Ryu did, believing that no one, not even himself, should wield the terrifying power of the Dark Dragon Blade. With that in mind, what does this have to do with the scene that started this little ramble/essay of mine? Well, the thing is that despite all that betrayal, I think Ryu misses Murai. Not the Murai that betrayed him, but the Murai that taught him, the Murai that trained him.
Someday you will come to understand the pursuit of power. Perhaps beginning with your training here.
The Murai that probably never existed. If you need a different example of Ryu respecting someone despite them being an antagonist, look no further than Ninja Gaiden 2's rival, Genshin.
I have staked my name. I have fought with all of my being. All to forge a future for the Black Spider clan. I have no regrets. Just as you have pursued a cause greater than yourself, so too have I.
Just to emphasize, the Black Spider Ninja are constantly described as an evil ninja group. Ryu fights so many of them that there's a whole field of graves Ryu passes by on Mount Fuji. Despite that, Ryu didn't hate Genshin. He understands that everything that Genshin did, it was for the sake of his clan, similar to what Ryu does for his Hayabusa village. So much so that when Genshin got disrespected, yeah, that is what pissed him off.
Absolutely useless. I gave you the everlasting life of a fiend, yet you threw it away, undone by your pathetic sentimentality.
Even in death, you could never understand him, Elizabeth.
The thing is, behind the stoic exterior of Ryu Hayabusa that everyone sees, lies a sentimental man who longs for peace. Yeah, I know, weird to say when you see him going around bloodily murdering all these people, but the thing is, Ryu is not Kratos from God of War, nor is he Dante from Devil May Cry. He doesn't kill because he enjoys it. He kills because he lives in a very harsh world where this violence is needed. I mean, this is the same world where hell gates are a relatively common thing for villages to do terrifying rituals just to keep those dang things closed. In a world where most humans are outmatched by the strengths of fiends, demons, mutants, and dragons, Ryu kills so that other people can live. But anytime you see him with Irene, or kids, or any of the people he cares about, you can see the kind of sentimental person he is when he isn't forced to kill. Yeah, Irene is a brunette in the OVA and NES games. It's the modern games that gave her blonde hair. I guess in-universe she just decided to dye her hair during this time period. Anyway, he marries Irene and starts a freaking curio shop. He sells antiques. He even puts that above the idea of him being a ninja in his freaking profile in Dead or Alive. Just think about that for a second. The delicate nature you have to be to handle antiques. This isn't him and Irene being undercover for a mission or anything. They genuinely want to sell antique wares together as a job. Even after all the bloody murders by the hands of Ryu throughout the games, one of the most common ways for the stories to end is that Ryu watched the horizon, either with a sunrise or a sunset. Most of them involving Irene, by the way. The way I see it, these endings represent the future that Ryu is fighting towards. A bright one where peace can take over and he can just return home. Whether that's the Hayabusa village or his beloved antique shop.
The light of dawn drives away the darkness once again.
Darkness is destined to lift in the end.
And honestly, this is why, as weird as it may be, I actually love the idea of Ryu having that antique shop. It represents a happier and sentimental side to Ryu that we don't get to see often because, well, this is an action game. They want you to flip out and kill people. And mind you, I do love that as well. Oh my god, look at he moves. Holy crap, did you see that? Oh, here it comes, he's interrupt yet! But I think a good way to show what makes me love Ryu Hayabusa is to contrast him with a new character who got introduced very recently.
Here we are.
Ninja Gaiden 4 was only recently released last year. It features a new main character called Yakumo, while Ryu is more of a supporting character. Thing is, I think Yakumo is written to be the type of character
The Dark Dragon is mine.
that people think Ryu Hayabusa is. He's edgy, he's angry, he puts the mission above everything else.
I'll kill the Dark Dragon myself. It's my mission. It's my duty as a Raven Ninja.
Yeah, that last one may seem a little bit odd for me to mention at first because you would think that Ryu is also a mission first kind of guy, right? Well, from a certain point of view, yes, but here's the thing. Ryu's missions are all for something emotional. In the Ninja Gaiden OVA, he puts the mission first because he thinks it's what's necessary in order to be together with Irene. In Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, stopping the goddess is not something he does because it's the mission for his honor as a dragon ninja, but because he promised Kana he'd protect her.
Because I promised a little girl.
Ooh, that is a fine reason.
By comparison, Yakumo considers the mission itself the personal matter. He's almost like a machine that only does what he's told because that's where he puts his self-worth. And I like him. Yeah, it's easy to be dismissive whenever a new character takes over from an older beloved protagonist, but Yakumo as a character is a good way to show, through contrast, what makes me love Ryu as a character so much. Unlike Ryu, Yakumo seems to relish in his killings a lot more. And there's no better way to demonstrate that than to compare how they kill the same bosses. See, when Yakumo kills the Kitsune courtesan, he goes all out with the spectacle, but with the sword breaking the floor, stabbing her to the ground. Ryu does some slashes to disable her before he stabs her in the chest. When Yakumo kills Achilles, he lets his rage overtake him as he does a lot of rapid slashes. Ryu does a quick combo before stabbing him in the chest. When Yakumo kills Cetus, he essentially plays whack-a-mole with his hammer. Ryu fillets it like a fish because, funnily enough, one of his hobbies includes fishing. Yeah, you learn a lot of trivia about the characters from Dead or Alive. In fact, his favorite food is sushi, specifically sake nigiri and the tamago nigiri, because those are the sushis that appear if you play survival mode as Ryu in Dead or Alive 2. I might have played these games a lot. Still, he fillets Cetus because it's just an efficient way to kill a fish, you know? The point is that Ryu doesn't relish in killing like Yakumo is. He does what is necessary in order to get the fight over with. Heck, just look at when they fight one another. Ryu's movements are so efficient and minimal while Yakumo is consumed with anger. Again, not to discredit Yakumo as a new main character, because the thing is, Yakumo is still at the start of his development compared to Ryu. See, the whole plot revolves around Yakumo being sent in to assassinate someone, Seori, who is a priestess who got used by Achilles to resurrect the Dark Dragon.
You're the priestess?
That's me.
Then you die. Here.
My. Straight to business, I see.
But Seori explains to Yakumo that in order to permanently kill the Dark Dragon, they have to purify it first, which includes resurrecting it again. Don't know if you realize, but dead doesn't always just mean dead in this franchise. It's why it's possible for both Yakumo and Ryu to do finishing moves against the same bosses. Heck, Ryu actually died the first time he faced Doku, but then got resurrected by the deity of sentiment, and there's a lot of mythology in this franchise, just take my word for it. The point is that Yakumo holds off on killing her as part of his mission, as she explains that she is necessary in order to resurrect and purify the Dark Dragon. So yeah, Yakumo reluctantly protects her now, the complete opposite of what he was initially sent to do. What's important about Seori in Ninja Gaiden 4's story is in fact her oddly vibrant personality for a priestess. See, when we first meet her, she's just enjoying the whole thing. She takes Yakumo's cold demeanor in stride.
One wrong move, and you're dead.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Put her there, partner.
She teases everyone around her. She is honestly just enjoying life.
As a token of our new partnership, but you've got to keep it safe until we kill the Dark Dragon. Promise? Reviving the Dark Dragon is going to piss off a lot of people. Should be fun.
And the reason she's enjoying life right now is because she knows she's going to have to die. By the time Seori reveals to everyone that she planned to die from the start, that's when Yakumo's mission first personality is challenged.
This is the only way.
Sacrifice. What?
By this point, he has grown to care for her and doesn't actually want to kill her. In a way, I see this as Yakumo's first steps to actually be a proper successor to Ryu Hayabusa. This is when the game flashes back to when Ryu worked with Seori. Achilles has just used Seori to resurrect the Dark Dragon. It led to a lot of deaths and suffering. What's important here is that Ryu seems to be the only one who actually cares about Seori's life throughout the entire thing. Heck, even Seori herself doesn't think she deserves to live after what she has done.
Unharmed, I see.
Why do you care? Everyone else wants me dead, and I don't blame them either. So much suffering, and it's all my fault.
You were being used by Achilles. Nothing more.
I love this shot because it shows the contrast between a Seori who feels guilty about living and the Seori you see in the present time with Yakumo, who has finally allowed herself to enjoy life as she was heading towards her death. That change essentially happened because Ryu actually cares.
Ryu, I think I'm finally able to start forgiving myself. I'm still alive, which means there's still time for me to fix things.
The jewel of the Dark Dragon.
If, and only if, you deem him worthy. Give Yakumo this jewel.
Seori.
It's fine. I've made my choice. I need to take responsibility for what I've done. You helped me more than you realize, Ryu. Time to return the favor.
I think this is when Ryu was finally able to forgive himself as well. Because if you refer back to Ryu's origin story, he failed to protect Kureha, his childhood friend, who was a shrine maiden as well. Even when he was able to start over with Irene and such, I don't think he was ever able to truly forgive himself for that failure. This is the guy who's been training Kureha's sister, Momichi, to be a ninja in addition to being the new Dragon Shrine Maiden. This is the guy who puts promises above everything, even his own honor of being a Dragon Ninja.
I promise, Kana.
He takes it so darn seriously that it devastates him when it seemed like he wasn't able to fulfill one of those promises.
I couldn't save her. I made a promise to protect you and Kana.
Ryu wants to keep Seori alive, not just because he cares, but because he sees Kureha in her. Yet here Seori is, choosing to die for the sake of the world. By going along with her plan, Ryu is essentially choosing to let her die, almost as a way for him to let go of his guilt for Kureha. And mind you, this is not me reading into things that aren't there. When you beat Ryu's last mission in Ninja Gaiden 4, you get an achievement, the Priestess's Wish. The description says, head to the final battle carrying the wishes of Seori and Kureha. This leads to a fight where Ryu tests Yakumo's resolve.
If you truly think you have what it takes to slay the Dark Dragon, prove it.
It's only when Yakumo has proven himself to Ryu that Ryu gives Yakumo the Jewel of the Dark Dragon, allowing Yakumo to bring back the Dark Dragon Blade, the same weapon that Ryu once destroyed because he didn't believe anyone should ever wield it. But he trusts in Seori, and he trusts in Yakumo. So, to bring everything back to where this essay / ramble / love letter to Ryu Hayabusa began, why, through hindsight, do I love this comparatively simple scene in Dead or Alive 4 so much? Because it perfectly showcases, through action, not through dialogue, not through facial expressions, but through action, how Ryu's fighting capabilities as well as his sentiment are not opposites. In a way, they're two sides of the same coin. You see, I kinda lied. Ryu's kata with the nunchucks is not exactly the same as Murai's. If you look very closely, you do see a difference. Ryu does more advanced techniques, he's faster, he has a better flow of movement. From a first glance, it does seem like the same thing that Murai did, but it's actually more than that. Ryu improved on what Murai did. He misses the Murai that trained him, a Murai that may not ever have existed. That doesn't mean he can't grieve over the loss of that Murai. It's an emotion that can fuel him to thrive to be better. To be better than the Murai that betrayed him, to be better than the Murai that taught him, and to be better than himself.